Hello, Mojo. What is your name?
My name is Mary Jo McCombs, or
And where were you born?
I was born in Coleman, Alabama,
And what year?
1936,
Okay.
on March the
Oh,
17th, St. Patrick's
St.
Day.
Patrick's Day.
Yep.
Okay. What was life growing up like during that time?
Well, my family, we moved to Birmingham when I was 4 years old because my dad had been teaching up in Coleman County for 17 years, but he wasn't, as a teacher, he wasn't making too much money. So we moved to Birmingham and he went to work for the steel mills down there, TCI, it was called.
Okay.
And my mother was a homemaker, except during the war, she worked at a place named called Betchel McCombs. And because they needed the women to work because a lot of the men were at war.
Right.
Not my dad, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. What were your grandparents like, and from what you remember, what did they do for a living?
Oh, well, I think on my mother's side, I think my granddad was, first of all, he was a farmer, and then in Coleman County, Alabama, and then he moved down to Birmingham and went to work for TCI too.
Okay.
And I think he had a couple other jobs, and my grandmother was a homemaker. And on my father's side, he grew up in Coleman County, my father, and that grandfather, I never knew. He died when my dad was 15. But in the community they were in, he had the grist mill, he had the barber shop, and he had the grocery store,
Right. He had all of it.
all of that. Thus, the reason that my dad didn't even finish high school, he took a test, and if you passed the test, you could go teach. So he started teaching and then taught for 17 years. And he'd go to Birmingham, to Birmingham Southern, for courses in the summertime, and he wasn't even a high school graduate. He used to help some of the students.
Right, right. What was life like during segregation and throughout your life? How like you saw racism change and like evolve into an equal America? What was life like during those times?
It was very different,
Hmm.
but when we grew up, that's the way it was. We
Right.
didn't know any difference.
Hmm.
And everything was segregated. They had white restrooms, black restrooms, and you went in anything. The buses, everything was
Right.
segregated.
And you just kind of went
And
with it.
and it's just something that we grew up with and thought that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right. Right.
But we didn't have any hate in my family. And my mother used to have a black maid who worked for us that did ironing along all day long,
Hmm.
because you'd have to iron all your clothes. You didn't have any permanent press.
Right.
But she had problems with her legs. So, but she would come in, and in fact, before I got married, I used to sit around and talk to one of the maids that worked for us, and she said, "When you get married, I want to come to work for you." So she did.
Yeah.
But we had good relationships, a one-on-one